Earlier we were using the custom animation curve to create that zigzag animation. Now we're going to take help of the animatable class to create that zigzag animation. There's one more thing which I want to share with you. All the tween classes are a child of the animatable class. That's why we're going to use the animatable class. Now we're going to define the class zigzag animatable, and we are going to extend this class with the animatable class, and we are going to provide the runtime type double, and we also need to override the method transform. This transform method is totally different from the transform method of curve class, so please don't get confused. So you are going to get the value of t in the range of 0 and 1, but it's not necessary the value which you are going to return is going to be in the range of 0 and 1. So to create that zigzag animatable, we need to have the endpoints. So this is an endpoint, this is an endpoint, this is an endpoint, this is an endpoint. So we need a list of endpoints. So we will name it alignments. Why alignments? Because we are going to provide the value to the alignment. Also, we are going to use this animatable here, and we are going to provide the alignment 1 minus 1 1 minus 1 to create that zigzag pattern, right? Now what we need to do, we will check if the value of t is equal to 0, then we are going to return the first item. It's not 0 and it's equal to 1, then we are going to return the last item, right? And if it's in the range of 0 and 1 but not 0 and neither 1, then we are going to lerp it, right? And we are going to call the lerp method here. So to do the lerping, we need to have the pairs, right? Because without a pair you won't be able to move that object in a line. We need to get the intervals, right? Because the value of t which you are going to get in the range of 0 and 1, so we need to have the intervals. So we'll create an object, the name interval, and to calculate the interval we need to have the length, and to calculate the interval we are going to divide the 1 with the length minus 1. Why 1? Because the maximum value of t is always 1. So we have calculated the interval, we have the length, and we have the alignments. Now we can do the calculation stuff. So there's one more thing. So we need to have the first item, and we need to have the second item. And now what we can do, we need to have the index of the first item and the second item. Now we can use the indexes here, right? So we need to iterate over the list in a pair, so that's why I have extracted the first item index and the second item index. Now we can use the formula second item minus first item index, sorry, first item multiply by t. So we have divided the t into the intervals, so we need to use that interval, right? We also need to have the range which we have covered, so we will create a variable covered, and we will provide the initial value 0. So what we are going to do, we are going to check whether the t is greater than interval multiply by the second item index. If it's greater than interval multiply by second item index, then we are going to increase the value of the first item index and the second item index. Also, we are going to update the range which we have covered, and we're going to append the interval. We need to have a variable with the name updated t, right? And we are going to provide the initial value t, but if the value of t is greater than the range covered, then in that case we are going to subtract the range covered from the t. And now we can use this updated t, and also there's one more thing, we need to multiply it with the length minus 1. So we need to extend that range. For this we are multiplying with updated t with the length minus 1. Let's go to start. So as you can see, we have successfully created this zigzag animation without using curve by using animatable. I hope you found this video helpful. If you want to learn more about Flutter, you can subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.